Well, that's Elk Mountain off in the distance under 2. We'll drop down and low level over there and back, and then out to the west where 2 will split off. Then Joe and I will form up and head for home south along the mountains. See some cool scenery, then we'll jump the ridge where you won't believe it's the middle of wintertime when you see the colors. Then we'll hit the overhead at Bountiful and land before the sun sets. Here we go. There's a 6-sack in the pouch there on your right. But if you get nauseous, just let me know, I'll give you the stick. That usually fixes it. You know, I gotta say here as we're descending, the ground's always the biggest threat when you're flying a low level. But tonight with these long shadows, the dimming light in the canyons, and of course that sun in your face, we'll have to be a little more careful. For instance, you see this little hill up here on the nose, here at the end of the valley? If that bigger mountain in the distance behind it had the same snow covering and tree pattern, the small hill might blend in, almost disappear if you throw in the shadows, and the sun possibly in your face or glinting off the canopy. Oh yeah, and a distraction, and you might not even notice the hill. We'll come back in a few minutes. I'll show you that same hill from a different perspective. Anyway, enough of that. We'll just compensate by flying a little bit higher tonight. Also because it's fun, we'll do some extra maneuvering in the vertical. That'll give us a constantly changing perspective on the terrain ahead and help us break out the contours. You know, this is just so amazing here in the backcountry. All these little roads and trails, exploring all the sights. Kind of makes you want to come back out with a 4-wheeler. But I'll bet you 10 minutes after you got here, you'd want to be back up in the air. Okay, we'll make a 180 around this little knoll coming up on the left and set up for a low pass in the valley below. I don't know who owns this, but it'd be a perfect place for a little airstrip. Well, a month ago I didn't even know what a 360 camera was. Now I've got one, and this is my second test flight. First one I mounted it in the back seat and chased a friend in his RV4. This flight though, I've got it mounted out on my left wingtip, about 4.5 feet ahead of the wingtip. I'm looking at it out there, it seems to be doing pretty good. It jiggles around some. I'm hoping that the image can be stabilized enough to capture how pretty it is out here. I feel like I'm just on a peaceful drive through the countryside. There you can see the mount right there. You can't see the pole the camera's mounted on. You just see the brackets where it's attached to the wing. There's 10 of them in a row. Here's a zigzag trail going up Elk Mountain. Okay, we'll follow this little valley up over the mountain, and then we'll make a left turn, and we'll go try to find that little hill that we were talking so much about at the very beginning. See if we can see it. So we're going to make a right turn up here, whereas a left turn might be a little bit more hazardous, since there's that hill right there. Yeah, I don't know how good an example that is. I just remember in the military they made a big deal out of it. So just take it for what it's worth. Okay, two splitting off. Number one's over there right below the sun. We'll go rejoin on him. Head for home. This is I-84 we're crossing right now. Weaver Canyon off to the right. Should be just a few minutes to get home. Kind of interesting glancing down at my G3X. The breadcrumb trail through here is getting pretty dense. We must fly this same route several times a week. That's Francis Peak over there off the right behind my wing. And here's Farmington Canyon. Kind of a nice place to come on a motorcycle ride in the summertime. This is a neat little stretch through here. You can be flying at 8,400 feet MSL or higher, and you're still doing a low level. Of course, you have to watch out for those trees with no leaves on them. They're a little hard to see. Well, up ahead you can see where the sun's shining on the side of the mountain up there. That's where we'll jump the ridge and descend into Bountiful. Well, those colors I was telling you about are right over that hill, right in line with the sun. As soon as we cross that hill, the whole hillside just lights up. I think it's the angle of the sun because I haven't seen it before. You can see how I was starting to close up the formation, and then I saw those colors. I was so surprised I pulled way back to take a better look, and then they started disappearing. But then as I descend back down, apparently the sun angle is just right and they reappeared. It's just amazing. It looks like the middle of fall instead of the middle of winter. Anyway, this is Bountiful here. We're just coming up on it. So we're east of the airport, picking up about a 3.5, maybe 4 mile arc. We'll arc around to the south and come up initial runway 35. Well, this is a good position to be en route right now, looking through lead towards the airport, clearing the traffic pattern, cross-checking ADS-B. Also, we've been on frequency since crossing the ridge, getting a mental picture of where everybody's at in the pattern. I don't know who owns the property just before the threshold, but they obviously don't like airplanes. You've got about 3 big trailers parked right there below glide slope. Well, I know that was a long ride. If you're still with me, thanks for coming along. I'm just going to go put the plane away. See you later.